So I'm going to go deeper into how to connect the mind, body, and spirit. And we're just going to go into different ways that people don't really normally think about, that the mind, body, and spirit are connected, and how that can actually bring you insight into yourself and helping you to realize yourself as being one with everything around you, and to also realize your divine nature. So to start with, I've gone over this a few times, but we have these energy centers in our bodies, and these centers of energies, or these points of coagulation of energetic fields, are these different points that energy likes to collect at, and they all basically, they work together in order to be able to make your entire energetic field. But in order to be able to really understand that entire energetic field, what we have to do is we have to kind of separate it and then kind of bring it back together. So the only reason why we say that there's 7 of the energy centers, which there's actually more, but the main ones are the 7. And the only reason why we actually separate it into that is because they all have kind of distinct feelings attached to them. So, and this is going into body, right? So body and mind to start with. So body, physically, you can't see these energy centers unless you are able to see energy. And not a lot of people are able to do that, and that takes cultivation. One way that you can start to see energy around you is to start sun gazing and to start absorbing the rays from the sun, because that's actually a huge way of being able to start to basically decode this energetic information and have it to where it's like presented to you in a way that's visual rather than just mental. It's pretty cool though. Like, it's like after you sit in front of the sun for a little bit and you start to absorb its rays, then you start to be able to see these little kind of like glowing orb things around people. And all of those glowing orbs, like that, there's multiple of them on the people, and like depending on what they're doing, it shines more in different places. And it's pretty cool just to see that physically, you know. And that's like the body, but to feel it in your body is a completely different story. So, and this comes with also becoming aware of your emotions and all of your feelings, and trying to disidentify or disattach, or like detach from these feelings and emotions that you're feeling, so that you can observe them and see what they're made of, you know, like what the substance of this emotion is. Where is it coming from? Where does it link in your body? Where is it coming from in your mind? Is it even your thought? Is this something that you've ever thought before? Like, all these different questions are questions that you can ask yourself about the feelings in your body attached to the emotions that you feel, because each one of the emotions that you feel actually has a feeling that's attached to it in the body as well. And then that actually attached to a spiritual meaning as well, where it's the spiritual part of it is the totality of it all. So it's like the lessons that you came to learn, and this is kind of just like a way to accelerate your way to kind of like pick up the universe's lessons in a way. So to start with, when you're sitting in your root, then generally your body sensations are going to be something that's pretty somewhat uncomfortable. It's going to be, and it's not always uncomfortable, but it's really like energetic, but not in in a positive way. It's like you really feel kind of stuck in your vibration, and like it feels like you really can't do anything until you have your whole survival needs set and like okay. And then so the physical feelings that are attached to that is the feeling of like uneasiness, and a feeling of like this it's almost like also a heat feeling. So like if you feel your root flare up, then you'll feel this kind of heat wave that shoots from here, I'll show you. It shoots from here down to the ground, and it feels like a heat wave. And that actually is your root flaring up. And then also, but like there's, okay, the solar plexus, the next one, the sacral chakra, the next one, is the feelings that you're going to get is going to feel more electric. It's going to feel more like a kind of that urge that you get when you're like horny, or like when you want sex really bad, like that's like the feeling of your sacral chakra like flaring up. And that's the physical feeling of it. Mentally, that's what it's associated with, is like the feeling of like the urge to go reproduce. Solar plexus, physically, that's going to feel, there's a couple different feelings for each one of these, and I can go back into it, but I'm just really quickly going over this for you guys. But so the solar plexus, the feeling that's attached to that for me is whenever it's flaring, it feels like there's something trying to punch out of my chest right here, or not my chest, but my lower, or my upper stomach, lower chest area. And it feels like there's something that's like kind of trying to force its way out. And whenever it's kind of like being drained, it feels as though there's a sinking in right here in this area. And so that's the physical feeling. But the mental that's attached to that is either a feeling of exaggerated self-esteem or completely low self-esteem. So you can actually feel in your body what it feels like physically to have a low or a high self-esteem. And when I say exaggerated self-esteem, what I mean is more of like that kind of flare up that you'll get where, like, before you get in a fight or something like that. Like that would be like an exaggerated self-esteem. It's like I need to prove myself in some sort of a way. The heart, physically, when your heart is empty, or whenever it's being emptied, generally physically it's going to feel like an emptiness or a hole in this area, and it's going to feel like almost like a caving in physically. And when it's opening, it feels like this radiating, beautiful warmth that is just shooting out of your heart. And there's a huge difference between those, because like a lot of times I link a heart opening with crying, but that's actually moving through all of your energy centers and actually making a full channel and toroidal field in your auric field. And when you cry, that's actually opening your third eye as well, because it's like moving the energy up into this area. The throat, a lot of times it feels like a scratchy throat, you know? It feels like something like you can't communicate very well, but like physically it may not even be like a physical feeling of much. It's more of like, it's more mental, and it's more attached to this feeling of like uneasiness on speaking your truth and not being able to articulate yourself. And that comes with like a physical feeling of maybe like a slight vibration around your body that feels kind of like almost like a distance from your external environment. So it's like it's a feeling of dissociation, kind of. The third eye, when and this is getting up into a different kind of energy in completely actually, but the third eye, when you feel it, what'll happen is it will, when it's blocked, it's gonna feel like a headache. It's gonna feel like something's like there's a lot of pressure right here, or like an electrical kind of like it's trying to open, but it's like not able to. And that comes with feelings of existential dread. That comes with feelings of like feeling like you're not able to really connect with your environment around you, and feeling like you're not able to really like understand the source of anything. And a lot of people who've never experienced spirit really have a blockage in their pineal or their indigo ray chakra, because the fact that they just have never been able to open up the level of intensity of the heart that's necessary for you to be able to see the entire world as being yourself, or being a part of yourself. And that's actually what opens your third eye, and also the feeling of worthiness to be able to feel or see these things. And then when this starts to open, you actually start to get these things called siddhis, or spiritual powers, which are literally like clairvoyance or claircognizance in different ways. And it's all dependent on the person, it's all personalized to that person, but it comes when you let go of the want for it to come, if that makes any sense. Like once you let go of the need to be able to have some sort of power over other people, and you just want to be able to be a conduit for God, or you want to be a conduit for divine source energy to flow through, that's when you'll start to experience these powers, because they come from, not from you, but from the flow through you. So it comes when you become an open channel for information. The crown is more of just there's a few different ways that people look at it. You can feel like a pressure on the top of your head, like something's pushing down on you right here. But it actually opens up, and when it's open, that actually gives you a full sense of like unity with everything around you, and you kind of merge with your environment in a way. And the reason why they kind of put it as a lotus, or like a blooming flower, is because it feels as though it's a blooming of your consciousness. So it's almost like your consciousness is blooming out and becoming part of everything around it. And also, going back to the third eye, there's another thing about that, is that some people do have third eye awakenings while they don't have their heart open. And when that happens, it generally comes with a lot of fear and a lot of paranoia, because you start to see that, or you start to feel like everything's meaningless, or like everything, like it's all me. So what's the point, right? Like, why do anything? Like, what's the point of even being here in this dualistic state? And then you get this really kind of like separated feeling from everything around you, because you realize how connected everything is. And that comes from like almost it comes from not liking yourself. Like, it literally comes from you not loving yourself in the way that is necessary for you to be able to have these experiences of existential joy and love and communion, because you kind of skipped over that need for like connection. You know, like you start to see everything as being yourself, but then you want to just manipulate everything, because you know that if you can manipulate yourself, then you can manipulate everything around you. And right here, I could feel that like tightening up even as I was saying that, just because it's like, it's something that it takes a lot of energy from you, you know, and it's not particularly the easiest way of devotion. And it works for some people, but it's very torturous in a way. You know, it's like almost like torturing yourself in order to be able to find God, when in reality you can find God through love, and it's much more pleasurable. I mean, obviously you have that instant pleasure of being able to control people and manipulate people, and like having these, like, you know, these sexual experiences with people that are you know, domination and all this other stuff. But like, in the end of it, it really in my opinion at least, I don't think that it's the most comfortable way of going about life. I think that it may be a little bit convoluted in a way, I guess. It's just like, but it works for some people. You really have to have a devotion to yourself for that to work, and you have to be truly selfish, I guess. And then, but in reality, like, all of God is selfish in a way, because we're all one anyways, so it's all going to come back to the same thing. So there's really no reason to feel fear or sadness towards these people that want to control and manipulate everything. I would more just kind of feel empathy, or like, I would feel like I understand why you're doing it, but like, you must have a lot, you know, a lot of devotion to yourself, and I applaud you for being able to go through the suffering that you have to go through. But I can feel compassion for you, because I know that there's so much suffering that you have to go through. And I know there was a huge rant on this whole negative polarity thing, but I've just been seeing this stuff everywhere, and I've just been understanding all of these kind of law of one aspects about things. And I'm going to go into that very soon too, about the law of one, because that's really actually a huge thing. It kind of explains these energy centers in a way that is really, really kind of like palatable for a lot of people. I think that a good way to describe the connection between mind and body and spirit would be to start to feel into your body as you're feeling these emotions, for one, and then really start to understand the way that your body reacts to the mental thoughts that you have. So start to feel your body flare up in different ways whenever you're, like, say you feel anger for somebody. Normally you'll feel that in your lower stomach, and it'll flare up, and it'll make you feel like you know, like that, just that feeling of just a surge of energy. That's the only way I can really describe it. Until, like, physically it's going to feel like maybe heat, or like a pressure, or like maybe like a literal physical urge to, like, you know, like that kind of a thing. Positively though, you know, they all have their own their positive polarities as well. So like, when you're in balance in your lower three chakras, you're going to feel the sense of kind of being able to hold your own no matter what. Like, no matter what happens to you, you're going to feel like you are capable of kind of doing whatever you want to do without having to worry about having other people to help you through that, you know. And then once you move into your heart, all you're gonna want to do is just love everything and love everybody, and the throat is to kind of communicate that love and to communicate that joy of existence. And then the third eye brings you back into this unity consciousness where you start to see that God is in everything. And then the crown is just the projection of that kind of like into the cosmos and your connection with the cosmos, or you're like reconnecting with the cosmos. But this was just a really short kind of description on this, and I really feel like there's so much information that I can go into on this, so I could talk for hours, which I will end up doing. But this was just a really short video that was kind of pushing myself into that direction. And also, I'm gonna start posting videos every single day, so look forward to that, because I have to do this for myself, and it's something I feel that is necessary for my development as a human being, because I feel like I have so much stuff I have to share, and I've been feeling blocked and sharing it you know, for the past couple months, and it's just been really like hard on my system, and it's just been causing me a lot of anxiety, or not even anxiety, but it's more of just like this feeling of like I'm not doing what I need to do. Like there's this purpose that I have to put this information out there, just have people that like at least understand this information. And when I don't do that, it just makes me feel like I'm not doing the things that I need to do. And I haven't really particularly gotten depressed from it. It's just that I've been feeling this huge urge to put this information out there, and I just didn't really know when was the right time to start, and I didn't recognize that, you know, the right time to start is right now, all the time. So anytime that I feel the urge to put any of this information out, I'm just going to turn on the camera and then put it out there, and whatever people think is what they think. And if you like it, then I really appreciate that, and if you don't, then that's okay too. But just, you know, try to come with me on this journey of this self, and just learning about myself and learning about you guys, and just like, you know, pulling all of us kind of together into this experience of love and unity. And hopefully through some of my words I can help people to see that a little bit. Thank you, everybody, and I just appreciate your existence, and I hope that you have a wonderful day, and thank you.